Hit that big red button if you always find yourself looking for the latest NFL news and rumors. Here at Chat Sports, we go live Monday and Wednesdays, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. We're dropping new videos every single 3 hours, and so if you're a diehard NFL fan, hit that big red button that says subscribe. Let's get into today's NFL news and rumors. Mitchell Renz, Tom Downey coming at you here at Chat Sports. We're going to talk about some quarterbacks in today's show, Tom. We're going to talk about Jalen Hurts. We're going to talk about Dak Prescott. And, well, we're actually going to talk about a free agent wide receiver, so make sure you're staying tuned. But I got to kick off the show here because I want to get Tom all riled up.
Thanks, Mitch.
Is this going to be the last year for Dak Prescott in Dallas? Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, they talked about it. They went out and said that, yes, they believe that this is going to be the last year that we see Dak Prescott in a Dallas Cowboys uniform. I'll tell you what, if you guys want to see Tom get riled up, I want to start seeing some me's in the comments.
There were some decent points, man. I think Stephen A. saying that Jerry Jones never fully embraced Prescott. Relative to his adopted son, Tony Romo, yeah, that's kind of true.
Yeah, very true.
I do not understand how Max Kellerman says the economics of the situation means Dak gets franchise tag again. Because if you're trying to save money, especially for this year, you pay him.
Correct.
Because with the way contracts work in the NFL, and I will beat everyone over the head with this until they understand it, if you pay a guy, it's cheaper in the short term than having him on the franchise tag because you can just backload the deal to when the cap gets really expensive. Like, the
Kirk
smart
Cousins.
NFL teams. Like Kirk Cousins. Like the Saints have done for years.
Yes.
Every year they say, oh, the Saints got no money, and every year the Saints sign somebody.
Or what the Chiefs did last year. They had like $178 in cap space.
And they paid 2 players.
Exactly. A lot of money.
It's actually not that difficult to do if you want to do it.
Correct.
And I think it is fair to wonder why haven't the Cowboys done this?
I mean,
a large part is that Stephen Jones and Todd France hate each other.
Yeah.
Stephen Jones runs the contracts and really is kind of taken over for Jerry as the Cowboys' decision maker.
Sure.
And Todd France is Dak Prescott's agent. And those two, they don't get along.
But, I mean, the one issue that I have here with Dak Prescott, or not really getting his extension yet, you and I both know, I was not team top 10 quarterback for Dak. I was team that they shouldn't give him the contract.
Yep.
I continue to watch him get better and better and better, and he always, in my opinion, says the right things. Being the quarterback of America's football team, that's not an easy thing.
It requires a specific mindset.
And Dak has done a great job, and even with still all this crap going on, Tom and I live in Dallas. Dak does amazing things for this community as well. I am team give Dak his contract, but for whatever reason, they don't do it. He's put up great numbers. He's won football games, and every single time they doubt him, well, I mean, here we are.
I was told that Andy Dalton would come in and be just as good as Dak Prescott. We know how that went, right?
Well, Ben DiNucci as well. So is this Dak's final year here with the Dallas Cowboys? I want you to guys go down in the comments section. Let us know. Type Y for yes or N for no. If you are typing your Y for yes, be an overachiever. Let us know where you think Dak's going to be playing then in the future. Let's go to the free agent market now. JuJu Smith-Schuster, is this going to be his last year with Pittsburgh? Is he staying in Pittsburgh? He was asked, where do you want to be? And he actually went on and said that I want to retire as a Pittsburgh Steeler.
How much stock do you put into that, Mitch?
Absolutely none.
Okay, good answer.
It's absolutely what JuJu Smith-Schuster should say.
I mean, like that's you're right. Like that, if he said anything different, it'd be a really big deal.
Exactly.
Like you always say for the current team you're on, I want to retire here. And you say that up until the day you leave and go somewhere else or demand a trade or whatever. Like, of course he wants to retire a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yep.
That's the team he's on right now.
Absolutely.
Wherever he goes next, he's going to retire there because moving sucks, right?
Absolutely.
I think the question mark, though, becomes relative to his production and the pay he's going to get, what the Pittsburgh Steelers have on offense, I think there's a real chance he's gone.
Oh, I'm totally with you. I think he's gone. But the issue is how good actually is JuJu Smith-Schuster because his rookie season, he came out and we were like, wow, this kid's great. In 2017 and 14 games, 58 catches, 917 yards, and 7 touchdowns as a rookie. That's great production. Then in 2018 was when he really had his breakout year. People were putting him in the top 10 in terms of receivers, 111 catches, 1,426 yards, 7 touchdowns. But then Antonio Brown leaves. He had some injury issues. Ben Roethlisberger also struggling with some injuries as well. And in 12 games, 42 catches, 552 yards, 3 touchdowns. So now let's look at this season, 2020, where he was healthy for the season. Big Ben definitely took a step back, which is why I think the yards are down, the yards per catch are down as well. But there were a few games where he didn't start. Like, he started 14 games. He didn't start 2 of them. but he was being replaced. So when you look at here, Tom, his 4-year average stats, 77 catches, 932 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Really good.
It's very good. But is it wide receiver one type of caliber? Because if you're going to go out and get JuJu in the free agent market, I'm anticipating north of $15 million, probably 16, maybe 17 million.
I think a lot of it depends on what team goes out and gets him. If the team is desperate for receiver help, I think that makes some sense. I think what we've seen with JuJu over the years is he's someone, as a lot of NFL players are, that are heavily dependent on their situation.
Sure.
First 2 years, you had a prime, healthy Big Ben. You had Antonio Brown there as well. Let him be the 1B, and he thrived.
Yep.
2019, Big Ben was injured. They had no quarterback. He didn't put up very good production. 2020, they had Big Ben. He couldn't go downfield. The production reflected that.
Yeah.
So if he goes to a spot where there's a good quarterback, I feel comfortable with him being my 1B, but I don't think he's ever going to be a true 1A.
Okay, so then this is a pretty interesting question here. I want you guys to play, I don't know.
69.
I was going to say God or like Madden creator here, but I want you to rate JuJu Smith-Schuster from a scale from 0 to 100. 0 being he's the worst player you've ever seen. I guess 69 would be that he's not very good
I
either,
just always
honestly.
do 69. Anytime you ask me to rate something on a scale of 0 to 100, I'm going to make the 69 joke because I am a child.
I was going to say, all I heard was Tom always does 69. I'm going to have to ask his wife later. Or go for 100 if he's the best player. Rate JuJu Smith-Schuster for this upcoming season. No comment from Tom. Love it.
So
here are the well, apparently not if you're doing 69. All right, so who are the top free agent wide receivers in 2021? This is my list, and I think actually Tom and I we kind of agree on this. I have Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin. They're my clear number 1 and 2. Kenny Golladay, then, in my opinion, is like in a tier of his own. If you're looking for a field stretcher, Will Fuller. I'm curious to see what kind of contract he gets, considering the issues that he's already had this offseason. And then at number 5, it's JuJu Smith-Schuster. So there's going to be a lot of teams looking for him. There's going to be a lot of teams also just looking for some wide receiver talent. So when I really think about what are the teams that are the most likely where JuJu's going to be playing in 2021, these are my top 5 teams.
Good list.
I mean, these are teams like the Patriots. They need a receiver. The Raiders, for whatever reason, there's been a lot of reports that they're very interested in them. I don't actually really buy it 100%. The New York Jets, they need a receiver as well. The Washington football team, they need a receiver. Basically, if you need a wide receiver, you're going to be linked to JuJu.
I like that fit for the Jets in particular. They have Denzel Mims, and I think they're going to cut Jamison Crowder.
Yeah,
so you keep Denzel on the outside. JuJu can play some inside, some outside. He can be your leading receiver. They got plenty of money. You're going to have a young quarterback, whoever it ends up being. You got to get more playmakers in there. If Golladay and Godwin and Robinson all get tagged, all of a sudden JuJu becomes like the number 2 or number 1 receiver on the free agent market. So at that point, I think the Jets, with plenty of cap space, are a perfect fit for him.
Okay, so prediction time. Where will JuJu sign in 2021 free agency? Earlier, Tom said that he doesn't know if he's going to go back to Pittsburgh. I'm in agreement with him. Are you going to go with the New York Jets?
Yep, I'll go New York Jets.
Okay, if it's not the Jets, I'm going to go with another route here. I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars. St. Patrick's Day, it's right around the corner, March 17th. And if you guys are looking for some new NFL gear, we got you set up here. So get some St. Patty's Day NFL gear for all 32 NFL teams. How do you do it? You got to go to chatsports.com/St. Patrick's. If you're like, wait a minute, is it SAINT? No, look at the link on screen. Chatsports.com/St. Patrick's. We're also going to put it in the live chat and in the description below. But this gear is 30% off. Now, if you don't like green, maybe this isn't the stuff for you. But if you're like Tom and I and you want to be able to rep your team even on a holiday, this is how you're going to be able to do it. Yes, I'm a big Guinness fan here. But we got T-shirts, all sorts of shapes, colors. Look at these. Socks for all 32 NFL teams. Long sleeve sweatshirts, men, women, youth. Like, it's all this stuff. Like, there's like thousands of things that you can get at chatsports.com/St. Patrick's Day. You kind of look Irish, though.
I am a little bit Irish.
Are you?
There is some Irish in there.
Yeah? Okay. Well, if you're Irish like Tom, or if you just want some St. Patty's Day stuff, chatsports.com/St. Patrick's. Let's stick here with, I guess, a green team, Jalen Hurts, and it seems like he might need a little bit of luck to start this upcoming season. So the report is this, that Jalen Hurts might not be the Philadelphia Eagles starter in 2021. Albert Breer was on his show on Tuesday, basically breaking down how he thought that there could be serious competition for the Eagles starting quarterback job, but I was like, wait a minute. They just got rid of Carson Wentz. It's only Jalen Hurts and, Nate Studfeld, if he's still there.
Pending free agent as well.
Pending free agent as well. So could they draft somebody at number 6, or could they sign a veteran? I mean, I'll tell you what, it's something interesting to think about.
I mean, my initial response to this, frankly, Mitch, is, well, duh.
Okay, I'm glad.
Yes, they spent the second-round pick on Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
But if you're the Philadelphia Eagles,
You always
the
look to improve.
most important position is quarterback. I think that's been made very clear over the past couple seasons, right? And
So why
really
would you draft
beyond
a
that
running
then.
back?
Stop it, you. We'll get to your thoughts on Hurts. I know you're not a fan of him. But if you're Philadelphia, the bare minimum you must do is, A, sign a backup.
Yep.
Might as well sign a veteran to develop your young guy, and you're picking number 6 overall.
Okay.
So you have to investigate Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, and Justin Fields. And if Mac Jones, if you want, I guess. So if you're Philadelphia, you have to do those things.
Correct.
Otherwise, it's organizational negligence to be like, oh, yeah, we're fine at 6. You got to look at the quarterbacks.
Yeah,
you have to.
I mean, imagine last year if we would have said, no, you don't need to look at the quarterbacks. Now look at the situation the Eagles are in. So here's the quote from Albert Breer on potentially getting a quarterback, whether it's in free agency or in the draft. Wouldn't shock me if we get to May 1st and there's serious competition on the roster. And that could come with a veteran, but I think it's more likely that the Eagles do everything they can to try and get the best information they possibly can on 3 quarterbacks who could potentially fall to them. Here's the other part of that quote. That's Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, and Justin Fields. And I have it on good authority that they are going to go through that process with each of these guys and hold them up against Jalen Hurts and to make a decision whether or not to use the 6th overall pick on the quarterback. So Tom Downey, he's our NFL draft guy, and he does an amazing job. So what I wanted to be able to do is break down our top 5 quarterbacks. I didn't really rank them, but I think this is how we probably would rank them.
I'm done with everyone but Jones and Trask. This is how they're going to be ranked.
Okay, so obviously
me,
the
at
names
least.
that were listed for Breer, it's Fields, Wilson, and Lance, because those are probably the 3 quarterbacks most likely to fall to the Eagles.
Lawrence is not going to get that.
Yeah, correct.
No
Lawrence
chance.
is number 1.
Don't even ask me about it.
Absolutely. So let's see how Jalen Hurts would potentially stack up against some of these guys. But first, let's look at what he did in 2020. I mean, let's stack him up against Carson Wentz. Wentz in 12 starts, Jalen Hurts in 4 starts. Yes, the records for both of these quarterbacks wasn't that great, but I will say that I actually thought the Eagles' offense looked a little bit more inspired underneath Jalen Hurts than it did Carson Wentz. So for me, I was at least interested to see him on the football field, but as you said and as I've said, I'm just not a believer in him. I wouldn't feel confident.
You hated Hurts last year.
I just wouldn't feel confident in having him as my starting quarterback. I wouldn't have drafted Hurts on day 2, honestly.
I had Jalen Hurts was in my top 100. He was my I just went back and looked. He's my 97th overall prospect. I had a round 3/round 4 grade on him, which is actually lower than what I thought it was. But I don't even think they should have taken him in round 2.
Yeah.
If I were Philadelphia and one of these big 3 quarterbacks, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields is on the board, I'm taking him.
Yeah.
I don't think Philadelphia will because they thought enough about Jalen Hurts to take him in round 2. So their evaluation of Hurts is already going to be significantly higher than what mine is and certainly what yours is.
Very, very true.
So because of that, even though I would do it if I were Philly, I don't think they're going to. Frankly, I wonder if next year is going to be a punt season and evaluate Jalen Hurts year.
Well, if Hurts is going to be the starting quarterback, they're going to be punting a lot in 2021. So who's the best quarterback out of this group here, okay? And I want you guys to be honest here. So is it Jalen Hurts, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, or Justin Fields? Go down in the comments section, type ZW if you think it's Zach Wilson. Maybe it's Justin Fields, type JF. Trey Lance, type TL. Or Jalen Hurts, I want you to type JH.